looks like we are live.
Here so. Okay.
Awesome to be with you this morning, Ethan.
You as well, my friend.
All right, let's get into it to see if we can provide some help to all these entrepreneurs and solopreneurs out there. Just, hopefully killing it in business, and also just take this challenge of the recession and take it to our advantage, or just really proof our businesses and our hustles, whatever we're doing, proofing them to be in our best shape, no matter what's going on with the economy or even geographically where we are, making sure that we can do the best we can do to make sure that we're prospering, growing, and following our dreams, really doing what we want to do and making sure that we're in a position to do it our best.
Absolutely. This is the time to do it, especially with, there's talks today of looming recession. Wall Street's looking a little shaky, and while most of our network isn't in Wall Street, what tends to shake down in Wall Street can have a downstream trickle effect to Main Street, and that's where small and medium-sized businesses can have an impact.
Totally. I know what I notice is people just get like this sort of uneasiness, a little more stress, a little bit like, should I be reaching out? Should I extend myself like I thought I would, let's say 5 months ago? And it's not something actually right there with them or in their environment. It's just something being caused by media or these, what do you call them? These people that speak all this negativity, right? And it makes someone look inwards instead of outwards.
That's right. Are you talking about the constant negative news? What does that stand for? Constant CNN. That's right.
Yes. No, it's like it happens. It's so bad because we can fall for it. And these entrepreneurs and business owners, practice owners that are all over the country. I talk to them all the time. Walker Creative, we have clients all over the country. A lot of practice owners, and they might ask me, like, should I be worried about this? Should we make some change in the way we're marketing? What should we do? And it's not because there's anything wrong going on locally or with their business or their growth, but it gets this worry because of the negativity through the media and news and all that baloney.
All the hysteria. One thing I do know is for whether it's true or not, when it comes to the hysteria around what's looming, if you would, every breakdown has a breakthrough, and if any business can recession-proof themselves or even thrive through a potential recession, are only going to come out stronger. We saw that in so many different circumstances through COVID. I mean, you had people that were businesses that were, from a regulation standpoint, were told to shut down and couldn't do any work, and the ones that continued to market, continue to reach out to their customers, clients, and patients at all costs, and doubled down during that time. It came out of that period even stronger. I mean, I know we have doctors and clients and private practices that hit personal records and highest evers and scaled within 2021 because of what they were doing when everyone was freaking out. They were just putting their nose to the grindstone and putting in a handful of strategies in place to stay connected to their field, to their patient base, their client base. And then just many of our practices then opened up satellite offices and grew throughout 2021 into 2022. So whatever's happening, I always like to look at it as an opportunity, because some of the wealthiest people in the world and most successful businesses get their start during an economic downturn. So this is like, it's game time. This is the fourth quarter that I'm always looking forward to.
I am so with you on that. I had many, I can think like quickly, five clients, 5 practices that not only had their highest statistics during COVID, but opened new offices. And it was those that disagreed with just listening and being told to shut or whatever it was. And then they had practices around them that shut, followed the rules, and they just kept at it and did what they had to do. We got into working out ways through their websites to give telehealth, whether it be dental, physical therapy, or veterinarians. They did a lot of telehealth software implementations that we worked with them. But no matter what, we kept going, and they absorbed entire other practices client base and had their highest statistics during COVID. So I love that you pointed out that some of the most successful success stories and overnight successes that we hear about that, of course, weren't overnight, but happened during a downturn. So
Yeah.
this is the time to thrive.
I think so, man. I really do. And there's only one option. If the many of our friends and colleagues and clients that are watching, they've already burned their boats, years ago, and there's no use in looking backward and retreating when all they can do is move forward and fight.
Yeah, awesome. And it's great because I love that we're chatting this morning, because we're going to get to share some real examples and real tactical like steps. I know I've got like 3 or 4 things that are killer things that we're going to share for everybody watching. So hopefully they're tuned in, or they're going to see this video, because these are going to be things that they can implement to do what we're talking about, to thrive right now and not let up. Just put even more energy on their promotional work, their marketing work, their production work within the office, and anything it can do. This is the moment. And so I just hope they're all watching, because we're going to share some things. It'd be great.
No doubt about it. Yeah, can't wait to get into this. Can't wait to dive in.
Awesome. So, I mean, we talked about this recession, and I don't know if you want to hit me with a question, or I could just jump into something that I wanted to share. What do you want to do?
Yeah, let me ask you something too on the customer client, patient acquisition front. A business can be broken down into a few simple parts, right? It's acquiring the customer, it's converting the customer, it's delivering your product or service to that customer at a overabundant value, and then it's retaining the customer for the long haul to either continue them onto another service or product, or to retain them on the existing service or product, and building a base of customers from there. So you're like a specialist on the front end of that funnel, and even many other parts of it too. But one of the main things a small business owner, especially, or even sometimes mid-sized companies, do when there's an economic downturn, is they pull back their marketing as an expense. Is one of the very first things they do. And what are your thoughts on that? I mean, it seems like, when it's time to hunker down, that's one of the first things that goes. Is that good for a business to do? Is that damaging for a business to do? And if so, why?
Yeah, well, it's certainly, it's easy to say it's damaging, but there's a lot of worry that comes along with, of course, I'm a marketing guy, so I'm like, you got to push hard on the marketing when there's a downturn. But of course I would say that, but the truth is that when you have other people pulling in, you promote hard, because if we always got to remember as a practice owner that we're delivering help to these people, whether it's a person or an animal, like if you're a physical therapist, a chiropractor, a dentist, or a veterinarian, as a doctor, you're delivering help that they really need, like whether it is a pet, or it's an oral situation, or it's a body situation. And I know my personal experience. Okay, so I play tennis and my shoulder goes out, or I'm sore, or I need a massage, or I need physical therapy, or I need whatever. That need is not going away. So you got to reach out and get those people and bring them in, because they still need those points of care. That doesn't go away. So if we keep that in mind as a practice owner, that what we're delivering as our passion and why we became a doctor, and so that's when you push hard on the marketing to keep sending your messages out there, and sending them out in a way that is as human as possible, right? You don't want to just, you may have heard of shotgun marketing, or just yelling into the clouds, or a Goodyear blimp flying over with a billboard on it.
Too small businesses don't have a strategy, and they just are yelling into the ether, anything, everything for customers, right?
Just yell, and there's so many people trying to sell you a marketing bright idea, or the latest thing that's gonna like get you 30 clients this month, and a lot of those things are unfortunately baloney, and they're just a sales pitch, and not necessarily based on the best practices of marketing and marketing philosophy and long-term knowledge of how marketing actually works. Targeting your audience with the right message, with the right go button because they have a pain point and you need to talk to them about the pain point and you need to talk to the right person about that right pain point. So really paying attention to what's just a sales gimmick, and noticing the difference between that and something that's smart strategic marketing for you now. I'd love to just tell you like something today, and because these phones are how people get to know you, and especially with a practice. They have a pain point. They're looking for a practice, but they don't want any doctor. They want a doctor that's very human, that's going to care about them. And so they're going to search for you on the phone. Their first point of contact with you probably will be your website. If you have a badly done website or a website full of stock photography that doesn't present you and who you really are instantaneously, like milliseconds. Like there are studies from Stanford University that in like a 50th of a second, when they see your website, they will make a decision about you that quickly, right? The moment they hit it. And if that decision isn't like, wow, these guys are cool, these guys are like me, then they're going to stick and they're going to look more. If it's not that, they're going to go to a competitor, right? And so it's just like these kind of basic things, and the same with your social media. So let's just take the website. So if you do that with yourself, if you were to look at your website and go, in a downturn, okay, so they're going to be very critical about where they're going to spend their money, and look at your 5 competitors in your website. Make sure that your website holds up. Make sure that it's got pictures on the homepage of you. A video is fantastic of you doing your treatment, of your work, and talking about what you do and showing your practice, or your business, or whatever it is that you do. If it's stock photography of a pretty face, you see those 100 times a day on every social channel. It's useless. It does nothing for you, and you're going to lose that person. So that's just one thing, and studies and statistics show that. Like it's not my opinion. So yeah, that's just one nugget. Do a drill. Look at your website. In tough times, is your website going to stand above the 5 competitors in your community or around you?
Yeah. And would you also agree that, okay, if you optimize your website, obviously optimize your SEO so you can rank as best as possible. I've learned a lot from you. I've learned a lot from a lot of people regarding optimizing your Google My Business, for example. You don't have to pay anything to optimize your Google My Business, but you can drive a lot of traffic through a lot of lead traffic and new business through just getting your Google My Business ranked high on the map packs and getting them effective. I was just talking to one of our team members, Ronna Wilson. She's a freaking genius with this stuff. And just the little things you can do that won't cost you any money to rank on a map pack so you're at the top of the search, because map packs are essentially the Google Maps listings that when someone searches a keyword that relates to a problem that people are looking for that you can solve, it's an organic search reach that people are using more often than not, and will rank even better than anything else. And if you're not on that list, you only get three opportunities to be on that list. The top 3 on the map pack. If you're there, I mean, you can definitely drive traffic. That doesn't even cost you anything, right? So it's, no. I think too, to go along with what you're saying, it's looking at, it's talking to people like you, right? And finding out what are the organic drivers that don't cost me a single thing that will drive traffic that I'm not even utilizing right now, that might only take you an hour to upkeep a week or a couple hours, or you can just hire it out to somebody else to handle for you. So you're always, at least on the free channels, social media included, you're able to drive attention and traffic as well, and to do so in a way that's going to be engaging. So that's just a couple of things I think of too, of during potential trying to recession-proof your business, you have to find returns, effort going out for money coming in or customers coming in that aren't going to cost you a lot of money, and that can drive business into your office through ways that are going to be minimal output. And there are plenty of digital opportunities to do that with.
It's a time like no other. The also, reviews, if you simply, you take all your clients and patients that you're seeing each week, and all the ones that are happy, ask them like, hey, we love to hear back your feedback. We'd love you to don't let them leave the office before they pick up their phone and go, hey, we love to hear back from you on how you feel about our services. Share your actual experience. Tell us how it helped your body to feel better or your pet to be healthier. So every single person that comes in is an opportunity for promotion.
Totally.
Right?
There's no reason why anybody that knows either one of us doesn't have 100 5-star reviews on Google. That's just there's no excuse, right? I mean, we have a lot of our clients, and we even do this with the Business Academy. We just have a little template in Canva that you can download, and it says rate us on Google, and then you just put your QR code, your free QR code there, and it's your QR code to your Google My Business page. All you got to do is take their phone and just put their phone next to it, and it just pops up the website from the camera app, and boom, it takes click 5 stars, put a couple sentences in, boom, done. You can get 100 in no time. Now, reviews, I don't think are the only thing that rank you, but it's a big one, and it's a big one.
Well, it's not only a big ranking factor, but it's also there's other statistics that'll show you, especially for practices, that someone's going to look at your reviews, right? And if you have 100 or more, and there's no number that's the best number because communities are big and small, and big cities and small cities and everything like that. But if you have a lot of good reviews and even a couple negative reviews, but just far more good ones, that's going to make you stand out, and people are going to read them. And if there's some specifics in there about how you help them, and naming a staff member or a doctor, that stuff is fantastic. I mean, that is money right there, right? And Ethan, you're so right. What we do with a lot of our clients is we ask them, what review practices do you have in place in your practice? And they may have a piece of software that goes out and texts them, after a treatment, and it is a follow-up text and asks for review. That kind of software is fantastic. But also just we on Canva, and that's a free thing. You can have a free account on Canva. Just go to canva.com and you can set up a free account, and you can make up a little promo sheet that you can print out, put in a piece of plexiglass at your front desk at reception with a QR code on it. And Ethan, just like you're saying, scan that. It's that easy. So another free tool to get reviews, get them on Google and on Facebook. Those are your two primary ones. If you were to pick one, it'd be Google. And this is, these are all SEO things, SEO best practices. They're very simple. They're free. You want to have a great Facebook business page set up, a Google business page set up, an Instagram business page set up. You could even have a Pinterest business page set up with, and post all your blogs to Pinterest and pictures of your treatments on Pinterest. If in your West Coast, Yelp is really big.
Yep.
So I would never spend money on Yelp, but set up a really good Yelp page, unpaid for, it's free. And on the free level of Yelp, make sure all the information is loaded in there. Lots of pictures on every one of these free profiles.
Especially for, if I can add in there too, especially for high density urban areas. I mean, Yelp is very important to at least be established on there for again, West Coast or even other we find that thicker, high density areas, urban areas, work decently. You gotta have at least your Yelp up to date.
Yeah.
Because people will go there. But other markets not so much. But at least, like I say, at least claim the business, have the right information there, and have some reviews there. So those that are using it, if it drives traffic, can at least have a good representation of your practice.
It's so important. And a lot of practices, it's a once and forgotten kind of situation. So oftentimes when we're working with a new client, we will find that they did do updates on various online profiles like we're talking about, but it might've been a year ago or even multiple years back. And so you go to them and you realize, and they are a bit chagrined to realize that they had updated their front of their business. The sign has been changed. They had even a new logo and none of that new view is on their online profiles because they never went back and updated them. And so you also have a trust factor that might fall out with something as simple as that, as an hour of work on some week where you go on and log into all these things because they go to the online listing and you look like one thing, and then in the real world you look like something else. There is a subtle mental trust factor that actually falls when those kinds of things are in place. You build trust very quickly, which is, as you know, it's what we all need as business owners, as practices. Trust is the ultimate. Once you have trust, you got a client. As soon as you fail there, you lose someone.
Isn't that the truth? Yeah. Building trust and building value. I mean, you got to be able to get results based on the promises that you give, today's age, you got to get better results than you promised to earn their business again. and then build trust on the front end. Today's digital landscape, when it comes to what you're talking about, is it's just as strong as a referral. If you have enough trust that can be built before the person even walks into the office.
Yeah. And hey, do you mind? I want to show everybody.
Yeah.
I'd like to show them a couple examples of websites before and afters.
Do it.
Let's do it. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen, and here we go. This is going to be rough and messy, but we're just going to dive in. Okay. Can you see that screen there?
Sure can.
Awesome. So, this, come on. So this is a picture of an old website. Now, check it out. It was probably built in the early 2000s, right?
Yeah.
There's no direction to what you're supposed to look at. There's no, you can't really see what's the practice. There's some stock photography of horses, which is, interestingly, there's stock photography of horses on this website, yet this veterinarian that we're talking about doesn't even serve horses.
My gosh.
They only do cats and dogs. So this practice owner, wonderful doctor. And if she is going to see this video, this is being shared, doctor, so that everybody else can benefit from your experience. Okay. So she had this website, and, she lived off word of mouth, but she recognized that we're in 2022 and your online image and your presence has really become important. So we were talking about our website. She's like, do you think I should update my website? And I was like, yeah, we should update your website. And I don't have to explain to everybody all the things about this probably that are wrong. I mean, every logo on it is, all the online profiles that you may be able to see on this screen are not anything that's present.
Are you able to zoom in on that a little bit, Sabran, by chance?
Let's see if I can get closer.
I don't know if you can maximize your page there, and I'd be curious to see. Got it. Yep.
So we had this, and so we redid our website with everything that you and I are talking about right now. And so this is her new website, and you instantaneously, and tell me if you don't get this, you instantaneously are welcome to the practice. You see where you're going. If you were to look at the website on a phone or on a laptop and go, okay, this will be the vet, I'm going to go call them. You now know exactly where you're going. You can recognize the building. You know the staff. That's Dr. Kim Stewart. You know the doctor you're going to go see. You literally get welcomed into the practice by her as if you're coming in. Now, of course, we went and shot this. Walker Creative, specializes in premium level video work to do this kind of work for a client, but it is a whole different story about a website. And
it's a whole different story. Yeah.
Yeah. And for example, like, she got neighborhood favorite, right, for at the end of last year. And so as soon as she got that award, because they did a whole little campaign to get all their clients to vote for them, right? Dr. Stewart emailed me and said, hey, we won this award. I was like, Dr. Stewart, give me the graphic. Give me the graphic. We stuck it on their website the same week they got the award. Right on the homepage, that used to be like a picture or something. So we replaced it with that. So you meet the doctors. She was on a podcast with a big popular person about pets, got that onto the homepage. So you take something that, and you just switch it, and you just own her community. She is the top vet in her community. And you're going to decide to go see her before the competition.
Totally.
Right?
If the main difference I feel in both of them, because sometimes, we all know that customers, patients, clients, we all transact with emotion, and then we justify it with data, right? And I feel a different story being told. The other one is just information that may or may not be relevant to what I'm looking for. The other, I feel connected. I feel the story of what they're doing, Right. And I think that, Donald Miller, the author of Story Brand, great book. He talks about, your job is there it is, building a story brand.
Everybody out there, if you haven't read this book, read this book. This one is one of the best. It just is, it's written for everybody, and you can apply so much out of this book. Ethan, great that you commented. I love this book.
So good. And that, my thing is like your message needs to tell a story, and how your customer, client, patient is the hero of their own story. And you obviously you tell the story of, you're not telling your story, you're telling their story in your marketing, right? And in that that video, the B-roll and the video promo that you guys shot, it's telling a story of how they're telling the person's watching it story that has a problem with their pet, and that needs to get fixed. And it feels much more genuine. It feels like somebody that is there to serve me versus to tell me what they do. Right.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. That's awesome. I love that.
Awesome. Yeah. The other thing that is something we can all do that has no cost associated except for a bit of time. Like you were saying, like pick things that are like an hour a week. And it's this social media, Facebook and Instagram and Google. Okay. Google, when you set up your Google business page, you can post to Google, just like you're used to posting to Facebook. If you have an active Google page, Google business page, which again, like Ethan, like you said, it's free, post to it once or twice a week, just like you might post to your Facebook business page or your Instagram business page. That as long as if you're active on your Google business page, and Google will track that for you, and they'll tell you got this many calls, you got this many visitors, your stat is up or down on your Google My Business page. So it's a great tool for you. And so post to that, post to Facebook, post to Instagram, and the way you post can really change your engagement. I mean, I don't know, Ethan, on what you hear on your from your clients. What do you hear on social media, and what's the need?
So a couple of things I'll say is going to GMB for Google My Business. Let's wrap that idea up first. I mean, little technical things like, if you post a couple times, every time you post something to your social media, just have that person post to your Google My Business also. You can, here's some technical hacks that I think people could take home. I was learning from Rana on our end of things in TBA just last week was, take your any photos. If you take them with your phone, photos of your business, whatever it might be, you want to post into Google My Business, they will automatically geotag those photos if they come from your phone. You can actually upload, if they're not for any reason, you can upload them into an app called, or a website called GeoImager. And GeoImager can just follow the steps. It's like 7 steps. Create an account, upload your photos into there. They will geotag those photos for you. And then you can upload them from there onto Google My Business. If you take them from GeoImager, you can then upload them from your computer, let's say. You can rename the picture file with keywords. So like if I had like 5 photos of my business, I can run it through GeoImager. It geotags for me. I can then download those to my computer. And then I can, the file of the picture, instead of saying image or 526, I can put back pain Clearwater .jpeg, right? Upload that to Google, and Google will recognize the file name the keywords that are in the file name of the picture. I mean, simple little thing. If you do that, that's only going to just give you that much more of an edge on ranking, because Google will recognize the keywords in the file name of the picture, and then also recognize the geotagging. So, I mean, these are little tactical things you can do, which I think are really beneficial. But I think mostly staying regular on posting Google My Business, making sure that you review quarterly at least all the information you have on Google My Business. I think you would agree that customers, clients, patients hate with a passion when you say you're open when you're actually closed because you changed your hours last month, but you didn't update your Google page. And Google says that you're open and someone calls in and you're closed. I know I hate that as a customer, and that's only going to drive clients away and patients away. So, doing a quarterly audit, takes no more than an hour. Make sure all your info is up to date, and on Google My Business. But on the social media side, part of it is a couple of things. I know we're not all experts as content influencers and creators. You don't have to be an expert in that regards. But you can always, if if you lack quality, meaning maybe you're not doing the latest TikTok dance, or maybe you're not a funny comedian that can make people laugh on your content and just grows virality organically on its own. So you can make up in quality or in, say, catching things, and you can do quantity, right? Quantity of authentic content. So,
Yeah.
I'm not particularly like a TikTok dancer or an Instagram Reels funny guy. Like, I have friends that are like that. I have a Dr. Joe Taylor from Renew Wellness. This guy is like a freaking comedian, and he does like 2 or 3 skits on Reels every other day, and he drives
Oh
a
my
ton
God.
of traffic through it because he loves doing it. He's a really funny guy, and he knows what his audience likes. I'm not like that so much, so I kind of make up in maybe that engaging virality of humor. I make up for that in quantity of content, and then of course in value of content. So I'm not going to be doing a whole lot of like you said, stock photo, quote cards or stock photo based images that no one's going to watch. I'm going to just give my social media to somebody else. They're going to put stock photos up with generic messages. No one's going to look at that, right? But if you do authentic value drivers, like giving, knowing, here's something I will say. I know I'm kind of going a few different directions here, but you would agree that surveying and doing market research is key to driving attention and eyeballs onto any service or product, right? I would argue that the doctors, the practice owners, the business owners that are watching that are customer facing or patient facing every day. So not every business watching this is totally phased out of their business and removed from their operations. A lot of them are in there talking and with their customers every single day, with their patients every single day, tableside. They know what the pain points are.
Yeah.
Right? I tell every chiropractor, or physical therapist, or medical practice I work with, I said, all your survey data is in your intake or your new patient consults. That tells you what people are suffering from, what pain points they have, literally what symptoms they have, they want to get this resolved, what things they can't do that they love doing that they want to get back to doing, and what emotions they're experiencing. That's all within just your new patient consult. So use that as good survey data to go out there and build simple, easy solutions to that in your 30-second to 60-second to 5-minute social media content, right? Yep. So if you know that, let's say I'm a chiropractic office and I see 60% of my patients are coming in for lower back pain, and let's say half of those patients are 55 and older, and most of them are coming in, and the consult data is telling me they just want to be able to enjoy their golden years because they feel like they're in pain and they're medicated and they worked so hard most of their life and they can't enjoy their golden years. Let's say the majority of my 55 and older patients are saying that. Well, guess what I am doing content on? The 5 tips to get to relieve lower back pain so you can enjoy your golden years, right? That would be like a great piece of content. I could do a whole series on that. And guess who's going to be watching? The public that I already have coming in and that I want looking at creating awareness and engagement with what we're doing.
Yeah.
So make sure it's relevant. If you ever go, what do I talk about today? Well, just go. If you're a doctor, just look at some of your intake forms and go, what are people coming in for? What are the pain points? What's the story they're telling me every day when I have new patients coming in? And those are the emotions, the things they want to get back to doing, and the value drivers that they want help with. And boom, you can create content around that every single day. 5 tips to get rid of this, 3 ways to get back to doing this. And I hate to even say this, but the best marketing that you could find is for a healthcare practice. Go watch a series of pharmaceutical ads. I hate to say it, but they know they are marketing a terrible product, but they're doing it in a way that drives billions of dollars and drives attention. They do it the right way. They have a formula that
they know the pain. They know the pain points, and they have $1 billion to spend on advertising.
That's right. But the key thing is they know the pain points and they know how to communicate it, despite the fact they have black box labels they have to put in on their medications. They are required, thank God they're required to have to share all the side effects of those medications and spend half the commercial doing so. Despite that, they still get customers. How? It's crazy. They know marketing. They understand the pain points, right? And they provide, they're showing value in those ads. So while I'd hate to give them 1 second of my attention, they do know the pain points. If it's a nerve drug to help relieve pain from neuropathy, for example, right? Yeah. Like, as much as I hate that product, they know that they will visually show me and tell me that my pain points in 30 seconds. And then I literally saw
a drug for neuropathy last night. I was telling my wife, I was like, that is such a joke and I hate to think that people will watch this commercial and buy the drug, because I have clients and friends that are chiropractors and physical therapists that deal with neuropathy, and there's no drug that you would ever want to take to make, all it's going to do is make the pain numb. It's not going to get rid of the problem. And we just do video. We actually just uploaded a video for a chiropractor in Portland about neuropathy, literally on Friday. A wonderful video. And there's a couple like rules about social media, because your points are exactly right. And I want to say the what you said about authenticity is so valuable. I mean, it's almost like you can wreck your social media by not being authentic. Authentic, truthful, human. Another word I want to say is, with your social media, be as human as you can. The stock photography posts to keep your feed full are barely worth it. Barely.
Right.
You have to do it because you have nothing else to post, or you don't have time because you're so busy, which is a wonderful problem. Okay, but the posts you want to do, there's actually a rule. It's an 80-20 rule. There's a lot of 80-20 rules you've heard out there in entrepreneurship and stuff. An 80-20 rule of 80% of your posts have got to be human, entertaining, informational, fun, and then only 20% should be sales oriented. So let's break that down, Ethan, in numbers. If you're to take 5 posts in a week, well, 4 of those are going to be informational, entertaining, fun, just family, and then 1 post on Friday, sales. Like, if you were going to post 12 posts in a month, 10 of them have got to be non-sales, and then only 2 would be an offer, a special for that month, whatever it might be. But 80-20 rule on your social media.
Would you apply the same idea to, say, email marketing as well?
Yes. And you can have an offer in an email. Let's say you're going to do an email newsletter, which are really, I think, a great tool. But you can have an offer there, but 80% of the content in that newsletter should be fun, informational, local things. There's a parade coming for 4th of July. This is where the fireworks are going to be, or where there's a farmer's market this weekend and we're going to have a booth and we're going to give away free toothbrushes for all the kids. Those kinds of things in your newsletters. Once a month, send out a newsletter with 80% of the information in the newsletter is helpful, a blog about something, and then maybe an offer at the end. Actually, let me throw up, if you don't mind, Ethan, share a couple screens with you again, because I actually have a couple examples of great social posts from doctors. Do you mind?
Go ahead. Yep. I want to say hi to Natasha. Hey, Grand Junction, Colorado. If you're still hanging out with us, what's going on? Always good to have you on board. I'm glad you're joining and if you're joining us live here on Facebook right now, I know this is either being live streamed on YouTube and on Facebook. Feel free to go in the chat box and say hello. Love to see you guys.
Awesome. Yeah, it's great. Okay, so not sure why that is not. Oh, because I was zooming in. That's what it was. So this is a crazy statistic. Ethan, you guys can see my screen, right?
Yep.
Okay, so 2.5 hours a day. This is an average, a crazy average. 2.5 hours a day on social media, right? Okay, so with that in mind, when you post, you use this device in your practice or in your business and take pictures or a video of what you guys are up to. Okay, here's one you can see. The Easter Bunny visited this veterinary practice and is there with the doctor over there on the far left. This dentist with the exercise, that's a little video she put together. She videoed herself at home doing exercise. I mean, so cool. Has nothing to do with dentistry. It's just that she's like telling everybody, hey, everybody, don't forget to exercise, stay in shape, do your calisthenics, do your CrossFit, whatever you do, but stay healthy. Got 55 people reach, 17 engagements. What you want with social media is good engagement, right? That means everything. That means that these are people that are gonna now decide to, work with you or be involved with you. Here's another one at a vet practice where I think, what is this? They ordered food in for lunch, all right? I think it was tacos. They got tacos for lunch and they ordered in. Well, they talk about the restaurant they ordered from, It's a photo of the staff. They had tacos. You're thinking, why is that interesting for social media? But it is. People like, these are people's daughters, wives, sisters. These are the doctor there. They had tacos. They like tacos. Hey, I like tacos. And I now go, hey, I got tacos at the same restaurant. Because of course, if you have a practice, you have a community. So now you go, that doctor's office gets tacos at the same place I get tacos. You start to build trust. You build, it's authentic. This one, this orthodontist in Salt Lake City, it's just, look at these photos. They're totally goofy with the doctor. I don't know if you can see that. But they're just fun pictures of it at the practice during a training day. They're just, like you said, Ethan, they're authentic. This is 80% of your posts. This is, there's another chiropractor in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. The office manager, she's just such a fun person. She'll record herself on video and she'll just talk about what's up. Like it's a Tuesday afternoon and she'll be like, we've been helping some clients today with lower back pain from golf. Oh, and by the way, we're doing a school fundraiser to try to get a bunch of school supplies for the local elementary school. So if you want to bring in notepads, pencils, and this kind of stuff, and she posts that to Facebook. It's just great engagement.
And don't be afraid to put some money behind it too. And don't be afraid to boost. Boost your posts on Facebook, boost your posts on Instagram. Get more eyeballs on it too. It doesn't even have to cost that much. $5-10 a week. You can just put on a post that's a value driver. Don't be afraid to do that too.
Well, and for example, it's a great point, Ethan. So this one, Carolina Rehab and Physical Medicine Center in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, over here on the left. So we boosted that post. So you can see he is a celebrity, a local celebrity. He's not only is he a musician that everybody likes locally in South Carolina, but he's on the news. He's on WFXB Fox Television locally. So him and his daughter get service with this chiropractor. So he came in and he did a selfie with the doctor. They actually did a little interview because they knew each other. Mm-hmm. And he got on the news. We boosted it, got 2,800 people reached, 552 engagements. How much money do you think we spent on that?
Less than people would think.
$20.
Wow.
$20. You were about to say $20. $20. We boosted it. Thousands of people were reached locally, and he is a celebrity. So, practices out there. If you are especially I have lots of practices that just happen to serve pro sports athletes, football players, baseball players, soccer players.
Find the influencers and celebrities within your patient base because they're there. You just gotta do a little bit of an audit. Just print off your active patients and go, who's here's something I don't mean to cut you off, Mr. Brown, but I always have guys. If you have 100 active patients, right, that are walking into the office every week. Give a yellow highlighter for the celebrities and influencers that you have, a blue highlighter for highlight the ones that own big businesses in the area that are decision makers or own large companies. And you can, and another highlighter for the person that's most networked in the community, right? And what you can, there's opportunities abound to network actively, to take your celebrity patients that you have or somewhat celebrity patients that you have and to interview them and to do content with them. You have businesses or decision makers you can do event activities at, in the Business Academy, we teach them to do, to hire a marketer and to do active events in corporations and corporate companies around the area that you can do to reach people that way. I think one thing that's interesting too is that, it's just you'd be surprised with how many people of influence you have underneath your roof that are just getting that love what you do, that you haven't maybe reached out yet or seen how can I provide more value to that person. As a result, they can share their story on any one of these platforms. I love what you just said about highlighting, and you actually take your list and do different color highlighters. That is such a great tip for practice owners and any business owner. And no matter what you do, if you sell a service or a product, and you happen to have people that are influencers, and I almost guarantee everybody does,
their influencers in some way, is mark that and just network with them. Say, I want my business to do well. You want your business to do well. You're an influencer. Let's connect and do something together. This right here is a great example. If you look at my screen on the right side is this gentleman with this freaking huge knife, right? His name is Taro, and he owns the largest chain of sushi restaurants in Northern California, or at least in the Sacramento Valley, at least. And I mean, he's a massive influencer. He has millions of people on his Instagram feed. Did a Japanese night at this plant, like an indoor. The biggest indoor florist business in Sacramento. It's like almost like you go to this place and it's like a museum of gorgeous plants and exotic stuff. And so he became a friend of the owner. And so they did a sushi night, and he's in there. We interviewed him on video, and he personally, like, this guy is a celebrity chef that's at the top of the food chain of celebrity chefs. And he personally came in and made the sushi for Japanese night. And so we're posting all over social media for her. And it's connected with his restaurant. It's just all that stuff. So, and it was funny because when we did the marketing with Exotic Plants, she had never even thought about asking him to do social media. And so we brought him in, we interviewed him in the plants. Like, literally, I could show you this probably. Where could I pull this up? I don't know if I can pull it up here, but we actually interviewed him. We got him in on video. Another an orthopedic surgeon in Nashville who does regenerative medicine. Another great example is he does the Tennessee Titans. He works with them. We're setting up interviews with them. He did work on the shoulder of the pitcher of the college girls softball team.
Oh, awesome.
Got her back on the field within a month instead of being off the field for an entire season.
Wow. So there's stories to be told all around.
Any practice owner that is helping people has got to have people that of influence they're helping, whether, it might not be a pro athlete, but it's, there are people out there that use your product and service. And
but it's someone in the community. I had one office up in upstate New York, and about an hour outside of Rochester, and they were what the mayor of this small town was their patient. And I'm like, oh my gosh,
I know you're dying. You're like, and you've never done anything.
Right. Like, oh my God. And then they're like, when is he coming in? Oh, I think he comes in on Wednesday. And I'm like, cool, I'm here Wednesday. I want to talk to him. Right. I want you to come talk to him with me. And there's gotta be, I just went from the viewpoint of the giver's gain philosophy. I learned this from Dr. Brian Dahmer. He's one of our more successful 7th division mastermind clients. And he's got 4 practices here in Central Florida. He's got a 5th medical practice. He just bought a 6,000 square foot building. He's building into a massive physical therapy office. He's networked everywhere. Right. And and I learned this from him. It's like, giver's gain philosophy, right? Like, you go, when you're networking, you're trying to build these connections, go out there and find out how you can provide value and give value to that person. So I'm like, before we go ask this guy what we want from him, what I want from him is to go out there and spread the word and tell everybody and get him on video and just get the word out with the entire town, the entire county, on how, if you come to Lima, New York, you can see the Crossroads Chiropractic and you can get better, just like me, the mayor of Lima. I've gotten better from blood. Before I asked him to do that, I asked him, well, what could you use help from us with? And he's like, oh my gosh, I need volunteers for the upcoming Christmas parade. I need some help for some sponsorships for the cookie and coffee station, right? And, for the local holiday event that they're doing. And I could just use a couple hours a month for the following, right? And I'm like, good, done. Doctor, can we do that? He's like, I guess. I'm like, cool, we'll figure it out. And he's like, oh my God, you'd have no idea how much I struggle to get support sometimes from the business community. I just need help to put on these events, these community events. I'm like, no problem, we got you. We'll bring volunteers, we'll campaign to our patients, we'll do whatever we got to do, right? And then, of course, what did he ask us after that? He said, oh, you guys are great. Well, what can I do for you guys?
It's
funny you ask,
Yeah, it's amazing. And I tell you, that leads, and think about that. He said he needs volunteers for the Christmas parade. So now you have 10 reasons on social media to post about we're trying to get volunteers for the mayor. Now you're suddenly a business that's like this with the mayor of your town.
Right.
We're getting volunteers for the parade. We're looking for volunteers to give out coffee. How many people would love to be involved with something so important that the mayor is asking for help, that you're working with the mayor? You've got emails you can send out. You can put out a newsletter about it. You can do social media about it. Like you can even do a video and post on Facebook about it, on Instagram. Oh, yeah. And now suddenly the mayor, you don't even need to ask the mayor to do a thing for you, because he's just going to do it.
Yep. And you've already provided value because you've gotten him out of pain and he loves coming to your office. So now you're just going like exchange and abundance way above. And it's people want to reciprocate that, right? So that's the approach I teach our clients, like have that giver's gain philosophy. If you want to network with a local gym for referrals, like first go in and ask how you can help them. Here's another good little tip, right? Like if you have one thing I would highly suggest, if you are a practice or a small business, hire a marketer, not a digital marketer, because you can use services like Walker Creative for that, but hire a boots on the ground outside sales marketer, someone who's going to network with the community, who's going to do events in the community, who can go out there and kind of do the boots on the ground work for you. And we teach our chiropractors to do that all the time. And one of the things, if you want to go and network with other small businesses, or for example, get referrals or have a spot for screenings, your marketer to do at a gym or CrossFit boxes, or I always just walk in, drop in, ask the receptionist or the check-in person at the gym. It's a big Lifetime Fitness, which I think there's one up in Sacramento. There's up near El Dorado Hills. There's a huge Lifetime Fitness, right? $200 a month memberships, massive facilities, very high qualified, in our cases, highly qualified patients that would do well with the offices we work with. I go walk in there, go to the check-in person. Don't ask them, hey, who do I talk to set up a screening or an event opportunity in your gym? You walk in and say, hey, I'm just trying to find out, who do I talk to refer patients to or members to for this gym? Oh, that's our general manager. Let me get that for you. Boom, general manager is right in front of you. I go, oh, hey, I'm Ethan from ABC Physical Medicine. And, we actually have a program that we help people get out of acute and chronic pain. And once they're done with their basic pain relief and rehab program, we need to send them somewhere for strength training. We think you guys have a great facility. Would you be the right person I would talk to refer some of our patients to for memberships or personal training? Oh, yes, absolutely. Let me just get this over here. Here's the cost. How can we service you on that? How does that look? Now, great. Once I establish that relationship, one for one, they always ask, and I've done this multiple times, and they go, this is great. Well, this is awesome. Well, what do you guys need from us? I said, what would be awesome is if we could set up like a booth right next to your front desk, like twice a month. And we just want to do like health and posture screenings or injury prevention screenings, or do like a trigger point pain relief, 10-minute massages for your members. And then I can just send my marketer, one of my rehab tech out here for a couple hours. That's all I ask, just a little spot up there. Oh yeah, no problem. Tell me when and where, I'll do it. And then you set up little mini events during their busiest times. And you're going to get a ton of new patients from that. You'll get some. You'll get a ton of leads, a lot of leads for your email campaigns and to follow you on social and to that kind of stuff. But I've set up and I've had doctors and marketers with doctors' offices set up so many freaking events in CrossFit boxes and then large, huge facilities, just on a giver's gain philosophy and a script like that. And most practice owners or business owners, I don't have time to do that and go to all these, good, just hire a marketer, hire someone like Walker Creative to go and do your digital stuff and help you with that and to guide you in that regards. Hire a boots on the ground person to go network, community interface and community facing, and build events that way. And just give, and have a call to action, and you'll set up opportunities everywhere. That's one way I think you can absolutely 100% recession-proof your business. Yeah, is by not only having your digital presence strong and solid and driving traffic in and good branding and telling the story, but also be networked into the community and just be omnipresent everywhere. From a goodwill standpoint, giving back, and also just from who you're doing business with. I think that's big. Do you mind if I go over a couple more things too, Sabran? I had a couple other bullet points I wanted to share as well to the audience on.
It's crazy because I as well, we obviously can't go all day, but there's so much. And again, you pointed it out, recession-proof your business and doing things that almost don't cost you a lot. Of course, if you have to redo your website, because I did touch on a website, that is an expense, but that is an expense you can't do without. You got to do that part. But there's so many other parts of these tools that we've both spoken about that are almost have no cost associated with them. Is just fantastic. But yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I was just going to say, so the first thing I wrote down, we were chatting ahead of time before the webinar, was like, what are we seeing? What are good use cases for recession proofing practices or recession proofing businesses? And I was taking some notes from, just some data collection. And one of them is obviously never pull back on your marketing, right? Always just, push more towards your marketing efforts. I think we covered, a ton of opportunities and things everyone can do right away to do that. The other thing I was going to say too is, you never can be trained enough in sales, right? The ability to sell, right? Or you can change that word to influence, negotiate, impact others, right? The skill sets in that regards, even if you're not, selling customers directly, your ability to negotiate better contracts for things that you have as part of your business, right? I think if you look at your overhead and what your business is spending money on, every business typically has a certain amount of its budget dedicated to vendors, so for products or services. I mean, you can use sales to use your ability to sell and invest your ability to sell to negotiate better pricing on products that you use for your business. I mean, that's a no-brainer. As well as, if you're going to anybody in your community to go network, you have to be able to present yourself well, communicate your message well, and sell somebody on the idea of how you can provide value for their network. Right. I think that's a super important skill set to invest in yourself and to constantly to get better at. Right.
Yeah.
I was going to say one more thing too. I know we're kind of running over here, but, I think you can speak on this too, I'm sure, in many ways, but multiple streams of income for a business are so key. Right. And I would add to that, on brand multiple streams of income. Not have, you can drive down LA and in Los Angeles, anywhere, and you can, good metaphor I give for this of what not to do is, don't be the one-stop shop on the corner. That's the gas station, the mini mart, the tax service, the massage parlor, right? All in one spot. Those are totally, if that was one business, it'd be totally off brand, right? Or we're like, you go to some places in Santa Ana, Orange County, and it's like you walk in and they're selling calling cards, and they're selling foot massage, and they're selling all these different things, right? That would look like multiple streams of income, but obviously are completely off brand, right? So on brand multiple streams of income, most businesses have a base of customers, clients, or patients that see them or have seen them for the core business model that they're providing. So if it's a physical therapy office, there's hundreds or thousands of patients or tens of thousands of patients in that database that know you because you got them out of pain, or you got them back to doing what they love doing based on your core set of services. There's no reason why any business can't add on complementary services that can also be marketed to other pain points from your existing clients or existing patients. For example, I can speak on our industry specifically, but this applies to every business. Many chiropractors have a core base of patients, tens of thousands of patients, or hundreds of active patients that came in for a very, very specific pain point or need, and as a result got better, out of pain, back to doing what they love, and they're living a lifestyle of health and wellness. Well, you might have a complementary service that on regenerative therapy, right? You were talking about earlier, right? And regenerative therapy might work on, maybe you've helped them with their back pain, but maybe the chiropractic adjustment isn't working for their knee issues, but regenerative therapy can help with their knee problems, right? You already have a core base of people. Having a second wing for your regenerative therapy department, if you're a medically integrated practice, that would it doesn't cost you hardly anything outside of the product and a little bit of marketing, but you already have a whole base of customers that you can provide that service to. Or if you were implementing an aesthetics part of your wing of your business for a practice, right? Maybe it's not pain relief, but you have, but it can be delivered under the same roof, under the same licenses, and it provides a separate value that your core program doesn't provide. I would just ask everybody watching, ask yourselves, how can I leverage the current customer base I have to another on-brand service that's separate from what I have now, but it's complementary, that might be handling other pain points for my existing clients or patients? Or if my existing patients that know, like, and trust me, if it doesn't serve them, it serves somebody that they know, right? And I think many businesses can always evaluate what are other lines of revenue or products or services I can add on complementary to my core base of clients that will only help me, I can leverage off of to provide other areas of value to my business and of course other streams of revenue. So I argue that having multiple streams of revenue coming into your business is one thing to also recession-proof your business with as well.
That's awesome. That's great. Ethan, thank you so much for having me on.
Vice versa.
You know, we should definitely do another one to share more. I think that I want to remind everybody, like things we talked about. Ethan talked about GeoImager. I don't know if it's at geoimager.com or .net.
You can just, I think, Google it. It's GeoImgr, and then it'll pop up on Google, and just use, just be the first website that comes up.
Yeah, GeoImager. We talked about canva.com, great tool, free for emails. Certainly, if you're going to do emails or an email newsletter, MailChimp.com or MailerLite. So MailChimp.com or MailerLite. Those are two different softwares you can use. They have free levels up until about 2,000 names in your database. Do an email at least once a month to your list. And of course, do your online business listings we talked about, your Google business listing, and then the other ones, and get your website in shape. These are all great points. And apply the 80-20 rule to your social media, and be active on it, but be authentically active on it. I hope everybody is going to be able to use some of this stuff and recession-proof your business. And then Ethan, let's do another one soon to share even more tools and tips that we can help as many business owners out there to just thrive.
Absolutely. No, I'm out. Me and you, and based on our collective experience and working with, thousands of small and medium-sized businesses, have opportunities to share value on more marketing and ways to get new client acquisition, but also client conversions, retention, revenue optimization, and all that. So I think this is the first of many conversations, my friend. I appreciate you taking the time today too.
Awesome. Great. We will talk again soon.
Okay. Take care, guys.